Welcome to Brands Hatch, a sunny Brands Hatch for the third Lucas CAV Truck Superprix, which is also the first round of the 1987 European Truck Racing Championship. It's sponsored by Lucas CAV, who are specialists in diesel fuel injection, in electrical components and turbocharging. And there's a colossal crowd to see the first of a two-day meeting, which I promise you is going to show the very best in truck racing. There's three classes: the first for trucks of up to 300 horsepower, the second for 301 to 360 horsepower, and the third, the big one, 361 horsepower to 500. And for the first race, the front row of the grid is occupied by reigning European champion Mel Lindsay, and alongside him, ex-World Rallycross champion Rod Chapman.
And as they roll up to the grid on the parade lap, I'm joined in the commentary box by Neville Hay.
And a packed field, Murray, as we come up for this first round of the Etro Championship, the first race.
And it's go straight into paddock with Mel Lindsay in the lead, Chapman in second position, the Frenchman Gerard Quinet in third place, and Mike Smith is already starting to come up fast in the Ford Cargo. Here we are, Druids Hill Bend, Lindsay, Chapman in second place, there's Quinet, Gray, David Gray is well up in the Lucas CAV truck, and they plunge down to Graham Hill Bend, the fast left-hander.
Now the problem for Mike Smith, he's got to find a way through this. There are the two leaders. There's the Frenchman, there's Gray, with Smith trying to go around the outside of him, trying to use his local knowledge here at Brands, but he can't find a way to do it.
Out of clear ways into paddock, Lindsay leads, Chapman tucked up behind him, Quinet in third position, and Chapman seems to be biding his time as they go up Halewood Rise into Druids Hill Bend. And there's Lindsay, Chapman, Quinet, first, second and third, and those three are definitely pulling away.
Somebody's got himself sideways.
Yeah, it's Gerrit Hultink, the Dutchman in the Scania, off!
And look at the way he missed Chris Tucker. They almost caught the back of Tucker's truck.
But back at the front, it's still Lindsay, Chapman tucked up behind him. There's Quinet in third position, and Mike Smith is up to fourth.
Now let's have another look at this. Look, he's got right sideways there. He's on the grass. Out comes the tail. He's got the brakes on, clamps the barrier with the front, and he just misses Tucker there, who somehow or other gets himself out of the way. I don't know quite how he did it.
A fabulous avoidance, and at clear ways, Chapman is now going for it. Rod Chapman is taking Mel Lindsay, goes through on the inside of the corner, gets the power down as they come into the finishing straight, and another spinner. It's Chris Seville in the Bedford. Seville spins, but straight as arrows into the right-hander at paddock go the leader, Rod Chapman, with Mel Lindsay behind him. Downhill, now up towards Druids, that long, tight right-hander. And if Mel Lindsay is going to do anything about winning, he's got to do it now. Quinet still in third position. Round the right-hander, downhill towards Graham Hill Bend. And it's still Chapman. I don't see how Lindsay can possibly catch him because they are on the last lap. And Quinet is undoubtedly going to finish third unless Lindsay spins off, which doesn't look likely to me. But Chapman into clearways for the last time. The ex-European champion is going to win this race very convincingly indeed. Look at the gap between himself as down to the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend in the Lucas CAV truck comes Dave Gray. Behind him, Pasquale Robino in the yellow Volvo, and he is really going for it. But Chapman wins. And then it's Lindsay, Robino and Mike Smith with a lap record for Quinet, 66.76 miles an hour. But sensation, Chapman is disqualified for a technical infringement.
And so it's Mel Lindsay who talks to Brian Jones.
I'm well pleased with what I've done today. It's a long season, and as Rod knows, anything can happen in the next 9 rounds. I'm going to have another go at him tomorrow. He knows it.
And Rod Chapman knows all about four-wheel drive as well, because here he is again with the MG Metro 6R4, the one fitted with Lucas Micus engine management system, and this obviously working very well as he gets it very sideways. And another man to get sideways, unlikely to be seen sideways in the next race, is Willie Green, who talks about his prospects.
Oh, in my class, obviously Richard Walker is a potential winner. Howard Barnes in the factory Scammell is very quick. The astonishing thing of the weekend, in fact, although I have driven his truck, is Rod Chapman, who is going faster than anybody.
Willie Green considers you to be tough competition again this year. How do you view him?
In
My particular class, yeah, Willie and probably George Allen when he gets his act together with his new Detroit-powered truck. You never know. Howard Barnes with the Scamullers and Terry Crossland with the Cummins road train, they're all much to similar trucks, so it could be anybody. But I think, yeah, Willie, through his experience and what can I say?
Willie's very fast. Richard, there's one or two lads from last year come up with bigger and better trucks. They're all doing well, getting good times in. It's going to be a good, interesting weekend, yeah.
The first leg of the 301 to 360 horsepower class as Stan Hart, and we're in his cab, motors up to his position, 9th on the grid. And Richard Walker's having to start from the pit lane because he blew his motor, and they get away. It's George Allen in the mighty Volvo white, chased by Willie Green with Terry Crossland in 3rd position, with Barry Sheen in 4th place, Tony Jenkins right beside him.
And look at the traffic jam here, with Mitchell Cott's Mercedes just ahead of Stan Hart there, and Stan looking for a way by, and here's Richard Walker now coming out of the pit road.
Richard Walker gets away, up to Druids Hill Bed, it's Allen leading, Willie Green in 2nd place, Barry Sheen and Crossland go round together, then it's Jenkins, Mike O'Brien in the Mercedes, Stan Hart is in 7th place.
Down Graham Hill, and look at the battle going on here in the lead, on the grass green.
Yeah, and Crossland goes through to 2nd place, Sheen goes through to 3rd position, Green goes down, and we're back in the cab of Stan Hart's vehicle, and Mike O'Brien in the Mercedes is blasting along in front of us. What a marvellous shot. Up into Clearways, that long right-hander, and coming out of Clearways, it's Allen leading, Crossland 2nd, Barry Sheen is in 3rd position, Green is 4th, and look for, there goes Phil Morris through, and down to paddock, it's Allen in the Volvo white, there's Crossland, Willie Green, Barry Sheen, there's Jenkins in 5th position, Mike O'Brien is 6th, and Stan Hart in the Lucas CAV truck goes round in 7th position.
Yes, Hart dropping back there a little bit as the leader goes round Druids and off down towards Graham Hill again, and I think that Green actually got a bit of damage in that incident we saw, Murray.
Well, there's George Allen in the lead. Now, Crossland, and off goes Green again. He's done it again. Sheen has gone through into 3rd, Jenkins to 4th, O'Brien to 5th, and Willie Green there is down in 6th position now. He's really got to do some motoring to make up space.
Yes, you can see the damage on the front of Willie Green's truck there, and he's got to go by Mike O'Brien as they go past the pits there. There's the leader.
Out of paddock, George Allen. Now, Terry Crossland is actually dropping back a bit. Where is Barry Sheen? There he is in the DAF. Behind him is Jenkins. Now look for O'Brien, number 65, there he is. Willie Green is still in 6th position, and Stan Hart is 7th.
Down the hill they go, and where is Richard Walker?
There he is, and he is really flying. He has smashed the lap record. 66.2 seconds, 65.5 miles an hour, and he's up to 8th. But look at the battle now for 4th position. Tony Jenkins, O'Brien, Willie Green is going through. Willie Green is going through the middle to take 5th position.
That's an impossible gap, Murray. He just made a space for himself where there wasn't one there, forced his way through and depressed everybody else by the action.
Well, Willie Green has really got his foot down. He is now coming up fast behind Tony Jenkins, and he's going to go for that position. There's O'Brien in the Mercedes, very distinctive livery that, and they're coming thundering down to Paddock Bend. So look for Willie Green in the black ERF, and there he is. He is past number 53, Tony Jenkins, and he has moved up yet another place. Fantastic driving.
Willie Green, who's driven everything from Formula 1 cars, Formula 5000, fighting it out inch by inch and fighting his way back into contention here. And what a drive through the field.
So now the leader is approaching and into Clearways, and it's George Allen in the Volvo white, driving immaculately. Terry Crossland there in 2nd position. Look for Barry Sheen in the DAF, number 7 next. There he is. Willie Green is closing up on Sheen. Sheen's got to do his best now to keep Green behind him, because Green is going for 3rd position, and he's through.
Through on the inside of Barry Sheen there, Willie Green up now to 3rd. The burning question is, has he got time to do any more?
There is Stan Hart, he's in 7th place, and Richard Walker, flying through the field, is in 8th place, having smashed the lap record. Clearways, and it's Tony Jenkins, he's ahead of Barry Sheen. So is O'Brien. There is Sheen. He's dropping back through the field. And Stan Hart is now only just ahead of Richard Walker, who is going for 7th place. Richard Walker pulls out from behind Hart. And this is Hart's windscreen. And there is Richard Walker going through. Wow.
And he's squeezed Hart on the right-hand side there, so he's got the line, he's left his braking late, and he goes through much the faster because he's right on line and is pulling away.
Yes, the last lap. George Allen wins the race, but the big question is, can Richard Walker catch Barry Sheen for 6th position? Look! There's Walker! He goes absolutely flying past the tail ender. Now he's up behind Barry Sheen. He's got terrific momentum. The DAF is failing. And Richard Walker is through. And he takes the place with a marvellous drive. Well done, George Allen. Superb.
So it's Allen who wins. With in 2nd place, Crossland, Willie Green up to 3rd, and a marvellous drive by Walker up to 6th. And we talk to Allen about it now.
I've drove the truck for 10 minutes prior to that race. So it's all over the place at the moment.
George, you've obviously got a lot of adrenaline going at the moment. You've got 2 reasons to feel proud, haven't you? Because, I mean, it was your Equipe that got Barry Sheen going again, wasn't it?
That's right. They worked till 7 o'clock this morning getting it fixed. Good for them, you know.
What does it feel like to see off Willie Green?
Lovely.
Let's have a word, because George wasn't the only one who actually put it across Willie today. We have here Terry Crossland. Terry, congratulations on finishing 2nd. A tremendous performance.
Thank you. A bit quicker than my old gardener. It feels like Christmas being up here today, I can tell you.
Now for the heavy metal, the up to 500 horsepower class. 61 is Steve Parrish. Slim Borgard has already been out. That was Heinz Denhart. There's Rolf Bjork, the Superprix winner from last year, and Kurt Goranson's Volvo, and the rest of them. Now, this is the really quick and the really spectacular stuff. And here it comes, down to Paddock Bend at the start. And it's Slim Borgard, number 1, in the white Volvo in the lead. Behind him is Steve Parrish in the Mercedes.
So it's the ex-motorcyclist behind the ex-Grand Prix driver, then Denhart in the green truck, Levitt behind them as they come up now and break for Druids. And these are big, big trucks. A lot of weight to stop there, and some very close quarters racing there.
And it's Goranson on the grass. Goranson in 6th place on the grass behind Rolf Bjork, but he's got back again, and they go round the left-hander. There is Parrish. There is Denhart. Tucked up behind him is Andrew Levitt in the big Scania. He's a big driver, and he's tackling. He's coming right up to Denhart as Parrish goes through, and Levitt hits Denhart. He's bashed into the back of Denhart's truck. He's deranged part of the rear of it, and is that going to cause the German trouble as they go down towards Paddock? And
very sideways there, almost losing it. The leader gets it together again, but that was a all onto the outside of the circuit there, all but lost the lot, Murray.
Slim Borgard nearly taken off, but Steve Parrish is still in 2nd position. Denhart in the Mercedes, number 12, is still 3rd. Levitt is still 4th, and Rolf Bjork is catching him. Rolf Bjork in 5th position ahead of Goranson 6th is catching Levitt. Look out for it. So, there is the leader. There is Parrish behind him. There is Denhart. Levitt is going to go for him again, I think, as they come up to the sweeping left-hander at Surtees, which leads into the right-hander here at Clearways, with Parrish in 2nd place. Denhart. Levitt is going... Levitt's obviously in trouble. Smoke pouring from his vehicle. And he's going to have 2 people pass him. Levitt is caught and passed by Bjork and Goranson.
All alone, on his own, the leader now has got away a little bit from 2nd place, man. No doubt at all about it, but as far as the Swede's concerned, he would like Parrish out of contention at this stage and not worrying him.
Well, he is in contention, and he is worrying him, because, look, there's the Mercedes, not so far behind Slim Borgard's Volvo White, as Slim goes round the left-hander, and here is Levitt down in 6th position. John Powell, number 62, is now 7th, and Chris Hudson is in 8th position. Smoking badly.
Yes, Hudson with some problems there, and look at this, right on the ragged edge there, and going very wide.
That's Denhart. Look at the back of his Mercedes. And Rolf Bjork is now coming in 4th position, coming up to try and take Denhart, and he's through. Rolf Bjork takes third position from Denhart, so Denhart is now fourth. Göransson is in fifth position, and Bjork is really flying. Up into third place. And we're coming up now as Bjork goes round Graham Hill Bend with smoke pouring from his tyres to the start of the last lap at Clearways as Denhart goes up towards Surtees. And here is the leader, Slim Borgood. It's been easy for him. He's had a joint fastest lap with Steve Parrish, and there is the Englishman in second place, 66.9 miles an hour. A superb win for the Swede ex-Formula One driver, number 1, Slim Borgood.
A cheerful wave from Slim Borgood then, who finishes ahead of Steve Parrish in second place. A good finish too for Bjork, Deinhardt, Göransson and John Powell.
It was a bit of pressure from Steve here. It's nice to see him competitive. He's a good driver. I think we can have some good races.
Slim was dragging me along a bit. He was going really good, and it gave me something to aim for. About 2 laps into the race, he had a major rear lock-up, and I thought I was going to nip through there until I found that I was in the same situation, going sideways, so that didn't work. But it was great to follow. Slim's truck looks very smooth and very steady. He's driving it really well, and it gave me some confidence to follow him around.
And so now to the dragster demonstration going on the track. And while that's happening, we talk to the Team Lucas CAV drivers Peter Duncan and Pauline Stewart.
I'm very pleased to be still at it, really. So it's nice to get a ride with Lucas, really. So
yeah, it's an important day for Lucas. You've got a lady co-driver as well. Is that adding complications or making things better for you?
No. I mean, it makes it, makes it all fair, doesn't it? I mean, why should it all be men racing around the track? Women are just as good drivers as men, aren't they?
Anything can happen. I think. Everybody's got a chance, and that's what's so nice about it. And I think it's great fun, and anybody can win.
Well, we wish you luck, and I look forward to seeing exactly where you do come out. If you're up on the winner's rostrum, we'll be delighted.
So would I.
And so would we. So now let's join the lovely Pauline Stewart in the cab of her Leyland as she follows Follow Me to Crick, Tim Davis in his Scammell, as he goes up to pole position on the grid, with Pauline third on the grid, and all three rocket away towards the first bend at Paddock. And Phil Smythe is close up behind Tim Davis, and we're in third position with Pauline. Round from Paddock, up Harewood Hill, into Druids Hill Bend. There is Tim Davis, the Formula 3 driver. There is Phil Smythe in the Scammell. Tony Lanfranchi has gone through into third position, just ahead of Pauline Stewart. And now, look at Lanfranchi passing on the left.
Yes, he knows this circuit so well. He's been chief instructor at Brands Hatch Racing for more years than he cares to admit to. And if anyone knows his way around here, it's got to be Tony. And in front, of course, is the former pupil of Lanfranchi. And there he is now, the leading man, Tim, the Formula 3 driver, known as the Lion of Lampeter.
Yes, it's Tim Davis leading, Phil Smythe in second position, Lanfranchi third, Pauline Stewart is still in fourth position, and that's the Hungarian, Giulia Bellardi, who's nearly gone off. But at Paddock, Smythe is going for the first place. He's right up with Tim Davis. They come out of Paddock, up Harewood Rise, into Druids Hill Bend. It's Lanfranchi in the background in third position. Pauline is still in fourth position. There goes Phil Smythe's Scammell round Druids Hill Bend. Now the plunge down to Graham Hill Bend. Davis, Scammell, Smythe, Scammell. Lanfranchi in the background. And there's Pauline's Team Lucas CAV Leyland Road Train. Back again with Pauline in the cab. Lanfranchi streaking round Surtees ahead of us. In front of Lanfranchi is Smythe. In front of Smythe is Davis. Cut across to the apex of Clearways. Line up for the straight run down to Paddock. It's all action all the way round the lap. Now it's up into top gear. Streak down the fastest part of the course. Grandstands on the left. And off has gone Bellardi's Mercedes at Clearways this time. Smoking tyres, wet gravel. They're never going to get him out of this, are they?
And Smythe pushes Davis on onto the old circuit there. He gets it back again. He's still got his lead as they come up now towards Druids.
Tim Davis leads. Smythe, in spite of his repeated attacks, is still in second place. And I bet that won't stop him for going for first later on. Now, this is interesting because there is Blue Peter Duncan on the left being passed by us with Pauline Stewart. And now we're riding with Peter Duncan, who's obviously having trouble with the gears. Just listen. Pauline Stewart then pulling away. And Smythe's going for it again. He's rammed Tim Davis. This time he has really made contact with the Scammell in front. And Tim Davis is going right off onto the grass. Smythe is through, up into the lead as he goes up Hailwood Rise. And Tim Davis is not going to like that.
Tim Davis will not be pleased at all. There's a lot of damage to the front of that truck that's come through into the lead. And Davis has had to sit there in second place.
And Smythe laps Barry Machine's mechanic, Peter Bostock, who is driving the DAF and finishes and wins from Tim Davis. So, Phil Smythe, the winner in the Scammell, Tim Davis second in the Scammell, and Pauline Stewart doesn't know it, but she is coming home, and we are coming home in third position, because Tony Lanfranchi has been disqualified, and Pauline Stewart finishes a fine third.
Well, what a victory there. Even a somewhat disputed and rough one, with Tim Davies finding himself relegated to second place behind the flying Phil Smythe, Pauline Stewart third, Eddie Howard, Peter Bostock and Steve Jones. And now for a look at what went on in the next race.
The Shell Invitation Race, and it's Steve Howson on the right, Heinz-Günther Schultz, and then Les Mitchell's Dodge in third position as they go round the first corner on the lap, and that is Paddock Bend. Drop downhill, up Hailwood Rise. And there is Howson, 21. Heinz-Günther Schultz is being taken. Drops back. And a great rush of machinery goes round the right-hander at Druids. And now we are with Rob Williams in his Bedford as he dives through on the inside and made contact. There's contact there. Did you feel the lurch of the cab as he smashed into the truck he was passing? But now the man to watch is number 10, Noel Crozier, in the black truck, because he is up into second place ahead of Heinz-Günther Schultz as they go round Druids Hill Bend with the rest pouring after them.
And here's that incident we saw from in cab. On the inside it's Rob Williams, it's Jürgen Hauser on the outside, and he's taken the battery with it.
And Schultz has gone off. The man who was in third position is on the grass, rejoins the course, now's his chance, whoops, and he's blown it. A spin back onto the grass again, full lock. Have another go, Jürgen. Rejoins the circuit, touch too much welly, backs up, and
there's the battery hanging loose.
And he's spraying acid all round the course. And he's still getting ignition, and now Rennie Van Hoot goes off. The Shell Invitation Race is turning out to be a real cracker. Here's Alan Hodge. Round Druids Hill Bend, man with a lot of experience there. And meantime, Howson's off. That's the man who was leading, Steve Howson. He's gone off at Druids, back onto the course, and Rennie Van Hoot has done it again. Incredible! He's spun between Druids and Graham Hill Bend, and now he's backing onto the course. Let's hope that no one comes thundering down into him as Noel Crozier in the black Renault crosses the line to win with a fine fastest lap in the class of 66.15 miles an hour. And that was a really thrilling and spectacular race to end the first day's racing here at Brands.
And so to the second day of the Lucas CAV Truck Superprix. The mechanics have worked all night to make sure that the machines are ready for the great race. Has Mike Smith seen many changes in the last year?
I think the standards have come up tremendously in the year that I've been away from it, because I only did that one weekend at Brands and then I wasn't around for the rest of the year. The standards of preparation are remarkable. I mean, not just technically, where they're all trying out little bits and pieces, but on the surface of it, the trucks look good. And that's the most important thing. You've got 60,000 people paying good money to come through the gate. They've got to have something good to look at. And they've certainly got their value for money with this meeting. It's remarkable.
Saloon cars must be a tremendous contrast to these things.
They are and they aren't. And my view of these was one of fear to start with, but in fact I found the truck easier to drive than the saloon car. The saloon car, you're talking of with the Sierra Cosworth I'm racing this year, you're talking of a proper race-prepared machine, albeit on road tyres, and it'll go round. Afternoon. It'll go round this circuit. I think we'll be doing about a sort of 48 seconds a lap, whereas the truck goes around about 65. So there's a speed differential there. The speed differential is largely on the cornering speed. I mean, it is not possible to corner a truck as quickly as a car.
Is there any element, any skill that you've acquired in skiing which helps you in any way with truck racing, or is it a totally different discipline?
I think probably sliding. You do slide a lot, but even there, it's very different, actually. Yes, my speed skiing, you know, we were running 105 miles an hour, which is about the top speed of this truck, and we're trying to run 125. So slightly different. I'd like this truck to do 125.
Well, we'll soon know, because here they come up to the start of the second leg of the up to 300 horsepower race. And it's Mel Lindsay from pole position who leads into paddock and up Harewood Rise into Druids Hill Bend. On the left is Mike Smith, but between them is Queenie, the French driver. Dave Gray is in fourth position, and he jostles Davina Galitza. She's tight into the curve there, but is pushed out by Dave Gray. They thunder down towards Graham Hill Bend, and it's wet, as you can see. And Mel Lindsay's on dry tyres, and Mike Smith runs onto the grass. Queenie is well up. He's alongside Davina Galitza, and they are both chasing Mel Lindsay, who goes round the left-hander at Surtees and up towards Clearways.
Now, it looked to me as if Davina had got the inside there, which might look right to start with. But let's just see as they come out, because there's a big queue here. It's two abreast. There's another nudge there from the Frenchman. I think he caught Lindsay again.
And Davina's not only challenging for the lead, but she takes it at paddock. Davina Galitza leads. Queenie is in second place. Mel Lindsay is down to third. Mike Smith is fourth. And Dave Gray is in fifth position in the Team Lucas CAV truck. There he is in the background. So it's Davina Galitza leading. Fantastic performance. Queenie second.
Classic line there through Druids. Kept the door shut all the way through. And on this very, very slippery track, there's a lot of rubber around from these trucks. She's holding on well, but another big duel going on behind.
Up to Clearways. There's Mel Lindsay in third position now. But Smith's gone through into third place, and at Graham Hill Bend, steady there, Davina Galitza leading in the wet. Beautiful line on the corner. Queenie in the Ford Cargo in second position. Mike Smith is third. Mel Lindsay slides on his dry tyres, chased by Dave Gray.
And that was a big moment, but we've got more pressure now on second man. Up in the lead there, Davina's getting away a little bit. She's put a bit of space between herself and the Frenchman, but right behind now, and on the inside, Smith.
Smith going through into second position inside Queenie. So, what's going to happen at Graham Hill Bend? Well, there's the answer. Davina Galitza still leads. Number 71, the thundering Ford of Mike Smith, closing up in second position. Queenie is down to third. And there is Mel Lindsay, fourth position. Sjögren, the Swedish driver, is fifth. And Rod Chapman is up into sixth place. Rod Chapman's come up into sixth place. That's terrific. But at Clearways, Galitza leads. Smith second. They're distancing themselves from the battle for third position, and they go on down the finishing straight again. What a titanic race this is. Druids, Galitza, Smith.
Now these two must have more laps, I should think, of this Brands Hatch circuit than the rest of the field put together. And what a duel this is turning out to be, because Smith's trying to find a way past.
Indeed he is. Mike Smith is challenging. He's coming up on the inside line. He's tucked into the left rear wheel of Davina Galitza's Ford, and he's going through. He's got the right line at Surtees. He can cut across the front of Davina Galitza's Ford Cargo as they go into Clearways, and he does that. Coming out of Clearways then, it is going to be, and it is, Mike Smith, number 72, with his windscreen wipers flailing in the lead. Davina Galitza with the windscreen wipers stationary in second position.
And so now they come up towards Graham Hill Bend once again, and it's still the Ford Cargos, but this time they're first, second and third because Rod Chapman is up there, tail hung out. He's up to third place. All the pressure in the world, however, is not going to dislodge Mike Smith.
And the Druids, the leaders, are lapping the tail-enders. There is Mike Smith, number 72. There is Davina Galitza going through on the inside. And they're still in amongst the tail-enders as they come down to Graham Hill Bend and on to Clearways.
Just one vehicle in between the two leaders. There's Smith now, just behind him a slower vehicle, as Smith in turn comes up to try and find a way by a slower vehicle, and a race can be won and lost in this situation.
Indeed it could. There they go, lapping away, round Clearways. And hello, that's Hulting. Gerrit Hulting has done it again. He spins off and crash, bang, Alakazam straight into the tyre barrier. His race is finished, but Mike Smith's is still very much on, and Davina Galitza is harrying him every inch of the way. First and second, there's a long, long gap between them and the third place man, Rod Chapman. Surtees.
There's a couple of pretty distinct egos at stake here between these two. Neither one wants to finish second. How's it going to be?
Mike Smith wins. Davina Galitza second. What a terrific race.
Well, certainly one of the most exciting contests we've had here to open the second day at Brands Hatch. And who better to run it than these two who, as we've said, have Brands Hatch firmly implanted in their mind over the years. Mike Smith first, Davina Galitza second, Rod Chapman third, Sjögren fourth, and now to the presentation and a chance to speak to Barry Sheen. Has he enjoyed the scrapping that's been going on here at Brands?
Yeah, some real scrapping. Yes, all right, we'll leave it at that. Yes, it's... well,
last year proved that, didn't it?
Well, it's good fun. It's good, clean fun, you know. You can't get the occasional twit that won't get out of the way, you know. Try and get past and... You know, okay, nobody makes it easy for anybody to get past, but it's a sport after all, and if somebody's obviously quicker, then you should let them pass, instead of going from side to side of the road.
Well, an ebullient Barry Sheen, and he gets ready now to go out for the second race for the 301 to the 360 horsepower class. Number 51 is Lucas CAV runner Stan Hart, but Terry Crossland's truck is there. Terry isn't. He's stuck in the crowd and he can't get here in time. And now the start, and as George Allen leads from pole, what has Stan Hart got to say?
Yeah, we've got a pretty good start. We've managed to take Barry on the straight. We've just pushed Michael O'Brien a little bit over onto the side here. Took him behind Richard. Follow Richard down the hill. See if I can keep up with Richard and get a good slipstream behind him right to the top of the hill. And that'll keep us in fifth position.
That was Richard Walker that he's right behind there, and you can see he's tucked in behind there, trying really hard as they come down the hill.
Yes, George Allen leads. Willie Green is second. Tony Jenkins is in third position. Richard Walker is fourth, and Stan Hart is fifth. And here at Clearways, George Allen leading. Willie Green second. There's Tony Jenkins. Fourth is Richard Walker. Fifth is Stan Hart. In sixth position is O'Brien, and seventh is Barry Sheen. And as they thunder past the pits, Richard Walker moves up into third position, and there's a tremendous battle developing for fourth place. There it is. Tony Jenkins in fourth place, Hart in fifth position, Mike O'Brien in the Mercedes right behind them.
Yeah, I seem to have a problem with the accelerators. You go right down to the floor. I don't know what it is, whether it's a linkage or what. See if we can't take Tony on the inside. No, he's closing the door on us. See if we can't get him on the outside at the top of Clearways. We'll try and take him here, up a gear. No, we're pulling about 2,000 revs maximum now. Don't know what the problem is. Yeah, we can live with him on the corners, no problem. Just losing power on the straight. Gonna let Mike O'Brien come through on the inside. Just tuck him behind Mike and follow him down. No problem on the bends. Just can't live with him on the straight at the minute. I'll go wide at the top, see if I can't cut Mike on the inside at the top of Druids. We'll swing it tight here now. Jesus, wait! Don't know where the hell Barry came from. He's taken the mirror off the bloody mirror arm. Can't see nothing behind me now. Just have to follow him round. Don't know who's behind me at the minute.
Well, now let's look back and see Barry Sheen, number 7, barging his way past, knocking off Stan Hart's mirror and going through and up a place.
Yeah, like I said, with no problem on the bends. We'll try and take Barry on the inside now, drop a gear. Oh, he shut the bloody door on me again. We'll take him wide. No, he's pushed me out onto the grass. Now I've got the same problem now that we've been having all weekend. The splitter's not changing very fast. Very, very slow to change. The use of this gearbox is very, very fast to change. But just at the minute, don't know why. The splitter's not going through very fast. I'll have to follow Phil Morris down now. Now there's something going wrong right in front of me. Mike spun right off. Don't know what went wrong there. He seemed to go on the inside and then swing right across. Don't know what went wrong. If you're wondering why the wipers are going, there's a problem with the bottle at the front and he's travelling up the windscreen. I've got to keep the wipers on all the time.
Mike O'Brien out then, and the battle for fourth continues. Tony Jenkins, Barry Sheen is up behind him now, and challenging and going through for fourth position. Barry Sheen went through a gap that wasn't there, up into fourth place. Wow, Barry really is driving absolutely superbly, and so is George Allen in the lead. In the mighty Volvo white, George Allen, who won the first leg, leads the second. There go Jenkins and Stan Hart. Here is the leader coming through the field to win again for the second time. But can Stan Hart catch Tony Jenkins?
Yeah, we're just going to have one last go at Tony Jenkins, see if we can't get him on the inside. But no, just as I thought, he shut the door on me. See if we can't get him on the outside, down the back straight. No, he's pulling well away from me. Who won the race?
Well, we know who won the race. George won the race. And here he comes now with behind him the results there. George Allen, Richard Walker, Willie Green, Barry Sheen, Phil Morris, Tony Jenkins and Stan Hart. So 7th place the reward.
Well done, George Allen. Well done, Richard Walker. And now, the second leg of the up to 500 horsepower class. Here comes Rolf Bjork towards us. Number 12 in the background is Den Hart, the German driver. And then Kurt Göransson. There goes Kurt. Now the parade lap. Out of clearways to come up to the rolling start. With Slim Borgood in pole position. Steve Parrish, who finished second in the first leg, second on the grid. Then Rolf Bjork and Kurt Göransson. And Den Hart.
I think the winner's got to come from this overall, Murray, when we really come down the line.
And what's the odds? It's going to be Slim Borgood. Look at him. Out of paddock first. Up Hillwood Rise first. Number 1 leads. And it's Steve Parrish in second position. There's Bjork in third. Göransson is fourth. Den Hart alongside him. And then Angelo Rangoni. That's a name we haven't heard yet. And he is in sixth position, the Italian. And a battle for developing for second position. Steve Parrish, Bjork, Göransson just behind them. Then all the rest, and up to clearways. Parrish still second. Bjork, there's Den Hart. And Levitt, Andrew Levitt, going extremely well, is thundering through the field. He's in 8th position. He's got the bit between his teeth. Parrish is still second, behind Slim Borgood. And a battle there for third position. And onto the grass goes Göransson, and Levitt there is in 6th position. Graham Hill Bend. There's Parrish, number 61 in the Mercedes, second. Göransson is third. Bjork is fourth. Den Hart is fifth. Levitt is in 6th position and coming up through the field. That's Ghislotti. Ghislotti, the man who won the first truck race at Donington in 1984, goes off and rejoins. And at clearways, Pasquale goes off. Slim Borgood is coming through to lap him and come up to the finish to win again very convincingly. from Steve Parrish in the Mercedes-Benz. So, a second victory for Swede Slim Borgard, with Steve Parrish again in second place, Göransson third and Bjork fourth.
And a super drive by Andrew Levitt there to finish in 5th place as we go to the presentation.
Hey, Slim Borgard knows a good thing when he sees one. He's just had a big cuddle with Michel. I think Steve wants one too. Everyone's getting in on the act. And what about Mr. Göransson? Let's have a word with Slim. Slim, this is the second time we've met this weekend, your second victory, and I have to say that it's beginning to look very easy for you, is it?
No, it's never easy. I mean, I was lucky. I had a big gap in the first lap. I think Steve got a bit of slide in the first corner, and I just wanted to bridge it as much as possible to be secure. But you're never secure with that guy behind. He's quick. He's showed that with his quickest lap today, and he'll be there. But I want to thank all the guys who prepared my truck, because it's a nice piece of machinery. Without them, I wouldn't be here. West Coast Diesel.
Now for the last chance race. The first two go forward to the Superprix. So there's everything to gain. And it's Dave Gray in pole position, place because Göransson, who was in pole position officially, starts from the back. He's had a problem. So Dave Gray leads into the right-hander at paddock. Tony Jenkins is second.
In cab with Stan Hart now to see what's happening as they go down the hill. And you can see that they're really right on the limit of adhesion here.
That was Sjögren who passed him. The Swede is up into third position. There's Gray through, there's Jenkins, there's Sjögren. Back with Stan Hart. We're following John Powell now. And Sjögren, now watch Sjögren. He's doing everything he can to get past Jenkins. He's darting about, first to the right, then to the left. But Jenkins holds him back. The white vehicle weaving and bobbing, but he can't get through because Jenkins denies in the line, which he's got every right to do. Into clearways they go, out of clearways, Dave Gray leading. Jenkins second, there's Sjögren right behind him in third place. John Powell in fourth position. Stan Hart is fifth. And now down to paddock and on to Druids. There's the battle for fourth position. John Powell on the right in that fourth position. In the Lucas CAV truck, Stan Hart is fifth. Then it's Phil Morris. And look for number 6, Rod Chapman. He's come up from the back into sixth position. There he is. Rod is driving a pluperfect race. He passes there. And at clearways, Dave Gray. Where's Sjögren? There he is. Second. The Swede is up into second. Rod Chapman is third. From 16th on the grid, Chapman has moved up 13 places to third. Druids, Dave Gray, Sjögren, Chapman with his headlights blazing in third position. Nobody else in sight. This race is between these three people. Graham Hill Bend next. Then Surtees, now clearways. And it's still Gray leading. It's still Sjögren second. And Chapman is going through on the inside. Sjögren has gone wide. Chapman takes his chance and goes through up into second place. To paddock. Downhill, then up Halewood Rise. Up towards Druids Hill Bend. And Chapman consolidates his position as they go past the pits. Here is Dave Gray. And now Chapman is setting about Dave Gray in the Lucas CAV truck. Is Gray going to lose that lead?
In cab now to Dave Gray to see how he sees it.
He's got past the ball up. I'll hold him up. Back in the 8 now. Full 4. Come on, score it. Go on.
There's Chapman going for first place.
Oh dear, we're going to go ploughing. Oh, that ball was going to try and get up on my inside as well. I can't lose 2 places. Hold it. That's it. Got it. Now put the hammer down. And ball away. Full ball. I got him. He's showing the way home now.
What a ding-dong. Clearways. Chapman leads. Gray second. Sjögren in third position. So now Dave Gray, having lost the lead, has got to fight to hold his second place. Rod Chapman comes through and laps a tail ender. Shergren is going for that second place. He comes up alongside Gray.
Oh, I thought I'd lost that ball, though. Here he comes. Oh, damn it. It's gone through. Well, I'll have you on here. I'm not going to lose it. That's a break. He's going too wide. I've got a chance to go on the inside. Mike, beat it now. That's it. Oh, lovely. I've got him now.
Boot it now, he does. Rod Chapman wins, but Dave Gray has got that second.
Great. We're in place in the final. That's what I wanted to do.
Well, that's the voice of Dave Gray summing up what that battle was all about. A place in the final because only the first two go into the final. Rod Chapman, the winner, and Dave Gray, the second man, are the lucky people who go there to the final. And now we come to the presentation for that one before we come to the Superprix itself. And what do they have to say about their chances,
Now,
I
let's
wonder?
have a word with Dave Gray. Dave, are you just a little disappointed?
Well, actually, I was having my dinner at the time when they said the wagon's on the road. So it was a quick mad dash, jump in the seat and put your foot to the floor.
Well, it was looking good for you for a while. Did you realise that Rod was making his way through?
Well, I didn't realise it was Rod, actually. I'd have probably tried a little bit harder.
Thank you very much. Now, can you hold him off in the main race, do you think?
Well, now I know what I'm up against.
Now, you are, in fact, qualified, so you know what you're up against. Can you turn up the boost, or is that illegal?
Oh, I've got a fair bit of fuel left, actually, to go.
All right.
From the action on the track to the action off the track. A great day of entertainment for the family at the Lucas CAV Superprix.
But this is what they've come to see. The world's top drivers competing in the 25-lap Lucas CAV Truck Superprix. And in pole position, it's Slim Borgood. Alongside him, George Allen, both of them in Volvos. Then it's Mike Smith, third on the grid, with number 61, Steve Parrish. Willie Green is in fifth place, and Gerard Quinet, the Frenchman, in sixth position. So, 25 laps to go. It's a long race. Borgood has led into paddock every time so far. Is he going to do it again? He sprints away at the start, and indeed he takes a clear lead from George Allen as they go into the right-hander. Parrish is in third place. Smith is fourth, and Quinet and Walker are together. Now up to Druids.
And here we can see Steve Parrish boxed in a little bit, and boxed in well and truly there, with Richard Walker trying to find a way through as well, and Willie Green right up there with them too. And that was Rod Chapman right at the back of that little group. He started at the back, you remember, as one of the qualifiers. In captain Dave Gray as we go down the hill now. He's trying to find a way through too as well.
Round the left-hander at Druids Hill Bend. That's Rolf York in front with that distinctive design on the back of his cab. Clearways, Slim Borgood. There's George Allen in second place. Parrish is third. There's Mike Smith fourth. Walker is fifth. Willie Green is sixth. And Quinet is in seventh place. And there is Chapman. Chapman going well. Mel Lindsay on his inside. So they complete the lap. They come up to Druids. And Borgood's got that clear circuit. Steve Parrish is jostling for third position. Whoops! Steve Parrish nearly loses it as he hits George Allen on the Volvo. Walker in fourth position. Mike Smith is fifth. Willie Green is down to sixth position. The Englishman, Willie Green, down to sixth place. Now, Graham Hill Bend. There's Allen, there's Parrish, there's Walker fourth, there's Mike Smith in fifth position, then there's a bit of a gap. Willie Green is sixth, Quinet is seventh. The German is in 8th position, and there, Rod Chapman 9th ahead of Mel Lindsay. Clearways. Borgood, Allen, Parrish. Parrish is challenging for 2nd. Is Steve Parrish going to get through? He's on the inside line. George Allen drifted out a bit wide there, and Steve Parrish is going to get through, and he does. Steve Parrish in the Mercedes-Benz moves into the position he had in both the previous legs, 2nd.
Parrish now moves up to 2nd place, leaving Richard Walker to try and find a way through, but Parrish is the man to watch now. Having got 2nd, can he close on the leader?
Well, here's Dave Gray getting revenge for Stan Hart as he passes Bazza Sheen. And at Druids, Parrish there, then George Allen in 3rd position, Walker in 4th place. Back with Dave Gray. So he's got past Barry Sheen. Can he do anything about Rolf Bjork in front of him? There's Den Hart, and Den Hart is hit by Chapman. Rod Chapman has hit the German, knocked him offline. Meantime, Dave Gray is behind Bjork. There's Bjork's Volvo with the design on the back of the cab. And Dave Gray has passed Rod Chapman unseen as they came down the descent. Now they're on their way to Surtees. That's the left-hander. Look at Bjork, just a touch of the brake lights there.
I think that rubber on Dave Gray's screen comes from the front tyre on that truck of Rod Chapman's, and I reckon Chapman is going to be on his way to the pits this time, and indeed that's exactly what he does, off into the pit road.
Yeah, I saw his hand come out to signal that he was going in. And at Druids, there goes Parrish, still in 2nd place. Can he do anything about Slim Borgard in front of him? It doesn't look like it. Now, Dave Gray is still trying to close up on Rolf Bjork, and it looks to me as though he's got his time cut out to do it as the Swede peels off and goes into the tightest corner. That's Rangoni going inside Dave Gray. And there he goes through. Rangoni, the Italian, fairly streaking away from Dave Gray's Leyland. The Italian's got the hammer down. Dave moves over to the right. Follows Rangoni as they go and line up for the left-hander at Surtees.
And the big problem here...
Den Hart! That's Den Hart going through. So, Dave has been passed by Rangoni, he's been passed by Den Hart, but still Slim Borgard leads at Druids. Steve Parrish is getting closer, I do believe. It looks to me as though he's inching up. Dave Gray, Den Hart in front of him. Rangoni in front of Den Hart. And Dave's going for it, look. He's coming up to the apex. He's going to bundle his way through. Bang, bang, they touch. Oh, rattle, rattle. But Den Hart has kept his line, kept the power down. Dave Gray has lost momentum. And it's still Den Hart. Gray, number 18, in 12th position. Barry Sheen behind them, 13th. This is a terrific scrap.
Yes, Dave Gray, I think, has got his tyres going off a little bit, and you've got to be so careful when the tyres go off on these things because you can lock up and get into all sorts of problems. Look at the understeer on the truck in front there.
Indeed, it's Den Hart. And now Dave has got the whole of the straight. If he can get his gears changed quickly and smoothly and keep the power going, he can close up on Den Hart, but it doesn't. Yes, he is. He's getting closer. He's going through. He left his braking very late, the last of the late breakers, Dave Gray, and he's gone through and he's taken Den Hart. Now he's got Rangoni in front of him again. Slim Borgard's got nobody in front of him except the tail enders, but right behind him, looming large in his mirrors, Steve Parrish in the Mercedes-Benz. So the leader in the Volvo White Road Boss 2, Slim Borgard. That is the Mercedes, the Mitchell Cox Mercedes of Steve Parrish, motorcycle racer. A man who nearly won the British Grand Prix on his motorcycle 1 year.
Dave Gray setting off after Rangoni for all he's worth. And he's understeering there, he's touched the curb. He's out of balance here, he's on the rubber. And he's got to watch this one, he's locked up. And that's it, bang into the tyre wall. Just see that crowd react.
No wonder I'd react if Dave Gray was coming at me like that. Meantime, Stan Hart is finishing strongly, but he's about to be lapped by the leader, Slim Borgard. And Dave Gray, look again at Dave Gray going off from the outside this time.
Yes, all locked up into the barrier. Nice tyre wall there, not doing a lot of damage, but definitely out of the race.
But Dave perfectly okay, and that's a good thing. Slim Ballgood almost home to what looks like being a historic victory. Steve Parrish straining every inch of the way as they go into Surtees to Clearways again. It's been Slim Ballgood's race all the way from the time he crossed the line, as it was in the first heat, as it was in the second heat, so it has been in the Superprix.
And they've got a slower truck ahead there, and this could be the chance. There goes Ballgood, right behind him, and they're both offline, don't forget, is Stavros.
And Stavros, Steve Parrish, bumps Ballgood's Volvo from behind, but, funnily enough, that has helped Ballgood more than it's helped Parrish, because Ballgood just bumped onwards, whereas Parrish was pushed offline, and he's lost that vital distance, which means to say that Slim Ballgood, unless he makes a mistake on the last few corners, is going to go through and win. Hart almost home at the end of what's been a very hard race for him, as the race leader, the certain winner, Slim Ballgood from Sweden, clears Clearways for the 25th and last time, to see in front of him the checkered flag being readied, because he, Slim Ballgood, has won the Superprix. He's just won it from Steve Parrish. And what a great race that was. Slim Ballgood comes up Hillwood Rise. Steve Parrish comes alongside him. They congratulate each other. They look across the cab and they both say, well done.
Slim Ballgood first then. In second place, Steve Parrish. Third, George Allen. Fourth, Richard Walker. Fifth, Mike Smith. And sixth, Mel Lindsay. And now to the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, what about a tremendous round of applause for Slim Ballgood, winner of the Lucas CAV Truck Superprix, Steve Parrish, runner-up, and our third place driver, George Allen. Already Michel has presented the winner's garland, and now it is Mr. David Coe who is going to present the trophy to our overall winner, and it's Slim Ballgood. Mr. Coe. Well, there is the...
So ends a superb weekend of world-class truck racing, the Lucas CAV Superprix meeting. Great fun for the crowd, the competitors and the organisers. And now, here's to 1988. Welcome to a sunny Brands Hatch and the third Lucas CAV Truck Grand Prix. It's not a Grand Prix, is it? No.
Guy Queenet was right there. I hope I've got the name right, Guy. Vive la France.
Yeah. Don't take that. I got the wrong spanner.